Hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys. So, a lot of you have been asking over time to do a collaboration with Raven Tarot. Raven, Joseph Moon now.
My
See,
new
I'm
name.
going back to the past. So, we used to live together, whoever is new here, and we used to do tarot collaborations. So, we thought of doing one more for you all. And now, we're going to be touching on a topic that might be quite deep. So, probably a bit of shadow work might come out, maybe past experiences with parents, relationships, all of that stuff. So, I don't know the topic exactly, but we're thinking on touching why are you attracting such type of relationship or person. And we don't know how many piles we have, Joey. Shall we have four? What do you feel about it?
Yeah, we can do four. Or do you want to do three? Will it be too long for four?
So let's just do it a bit shorter. Maybe let's not, spend so much time. We can put out, the most important information
Mm-hmm.
in piles. Shall we keep it up to like 15 minutes?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what to choose from because I didn't pick any objects or any cards,
I
but
have I have crystals here if you want me to pull them over.
yeah, like if you feel like it, like I like to challenge people, using their intuition, but if you feel like you want to pull them out, do so.
I feel I kind of am the same. I feel like if people just center themselves and go towards whatever number resonates, because the numbers more so have more of a vibrational match to people, I think anyway. So if people
That's what
just
I think too.
yeah, if people just want to center themselves and just see what number is drawing them in. Um,
Yeah. Is that number one, number two, three, or four? So how I like to do it, if people sometimes they don't know, hey, how do I pick a number, right? Those who are not maybe as intuitive or they had a bad chaotic day. So I imagine them all lined up and which number pulls me in more so. Or like which side, more towards the left, left center, left, corner. So do it that way, guys.
yeah, and I think we've agreed on. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to channel messages of what their energy right now, and you're going to go further out and see
Mm-hmm.
kind of like family, friends, and all of that. Is that what we're going
Mm-hmm.
to do?
Yeah, so we're gonna take like it depends on a pile. I'm gonna let Joey start what he sees. Meanwhile, don't mind me in the background here. Listen to Joe. I'm gonna be probably pulling a couple of cards too. I have a book. We'll see where it takes us.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. So I'm going to begin. I do like to just close my eyes and channel for a little bit first, and then I will use the tarot deck a little bit just to clarify things that I feel. So just give me a second. Okay, so for group number one, I see that this group is being very optimistic about certain things that are going right in their life in regards to like finances. I really feel here that you are finding a lot of joy. I'm feeling like either you've kind of taken some time to yourself to work on yourself and create your own sort of abundance. You're working towards something that you've always kind of wanted to do. So I'm picking that up, that's really giving you a lot of joy. Um, but at the same time, I feel like there's a little bit of disconnect with your heart space. So you're kind of working on yourself and feeling like you're attracting abundance, okay, but as well, I feel like you're a little closed off um, from creating these relationships with people. That's what I'm picking up for group number one. But I do see that I'm not picking up anything overly negative here at all. I feel like this group's very centered actually. But it's just you're I feel like they're more connected with their guides at the minute. Okay. Um, so I'm not exactly sure why that is, but your guides are kind of coming in and directing you. So I feel like you're getting a lot of synchronicities right now. So you have a lot of faith in, you know, being guided. So that's what I'm picking up for group number one. But I am seeing stagnancy with this as well. Like I feel like you kind of need to, you know, try and not always put them to guide you completely, because that kind of becomes a little bit toxic if you're only focusing on that side of things, where you're kind of, you know, trying to go within all of the time. Like it's so hard to like differentiate and find the balance with that, because I'm someone who does that myself. But at times I feel like, you know, if I want to attract people into my life, I have to just take a risk. The minute that you take risks and push yourself past your boundaries, that's when you're going to notice new things coming in. So I feel like with this energy, they're starting to create abundance for themselves, and it's really making them happy. But now it's kind of like moving up. So I'm seeing like here their solar plexus is really like moving in a nice rhythm, but I'm seeing like, you know, you need to bring it up into the heart space and share your love and joy and passion about things and what you believe in with other people, and you're going to attract it in. Because right now I think you're keeping everything to yourself and you're not really speaking your truth. That's where I'm feeling with this energy, if that makes sense. I'm going to pull a few cards. I'll pull 3 just to see what else I pick up. So what's stopping you from taking risks? That's my first question. We have the Knight of Wands. I feel like you're a little bit afraid. Okay, I feel like with this group, you feel that things are going to take off, but you're holding back. It's like, I don't know why, it's like you know that things are going to start moving very quickly, but at the same time, you're kind of afraid of it. Like, I really, really feel with this group that you're ready for the change. It's just like, I think that this is the message that you needed to just go and just let the fire take over. Because I feel like sometimes people are afraid for things to move fast when things are so centered and grounded. But sometimes you need to just get up and go and experience things that are coming at you, because right now everything seems very much like divinely guided, but you need a little bit of this fire in your life, because that's where you're going to feel it here more so. Let me see. Why are you afraid?
I'm gonna show them a quote. When you pulled that card out, I had already the page open, and I don't know if you can see. Can you read it out?
I can. Yes, saying yes means getting up and acting on your belief that you can create meaning and purpose in whatever life hands you. Wow, that's so synchronous.
I was just nodding as you talked about that night. I was like, yes, that's exactly what I'm picking up here as well.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. What is that? I don't know how to say this. That is the 10 of Cups, but I don't know what that word is at the bottom. But I'm just going to. Yes, I don't know. We have Victory reversed as well. So this is the. Yeah, okay. I think that that's what it is. I'm picking up that maybe in the past you've went after things, or you've tried to approach people and you've been turned down, so you feel that that's your kind of thing that's going to trigger you. If that happens, you don't know how to deal with it, and I feel like that's what you need to try and conquer, because you're ready now. You don't believe that you're ready for it to happen, because honestly, I'm picking up that you're not going to get rejected because of the way that I feel like people are attracted to you. And just one more card, just to kind of, oh, well, there's a 10 that fell on the ground there. I'm going to pick up the one that's upright. This card for me just really, sorry, the lighting's kind of too bright here. I feel like you've completely bloomed, like with this peacock in the background, and just you're starting to love your own body. And I feel like you've been working on that for so long. Maybe from past relationships, you had people who were not really the nicest and saying things like commenting on your weight as if it was like fun little like joking about, but it wasn't really it wasn't a joke to you. And I've had that. I know what that's like as well, because I've had that in my past relationships, where they were kind of nitpicking at my insecurities and I wasn't speaking up about it. So I think that you now have worked so hard on yourself to not let that happen. So you're ready for it. And that's what I'm picking up. So do you want to keep going with this, Margarita?
Okay, this is very interesting because I was like, hey, when you were talking from the very beginning, when you were channeling, I was already pulling cards out, and I was looking at where the issue lied. And I said, I'm going to be looking more so at the family dynamics and how that impacts what kind of relationship you might be attracting, right? With you guys, I want to start with what you're great at. And that's something that what Joe mentioned already. You are really good at juggling things. You're really good at this masculine, getting your money, or maybe being very focused on your goal. You are not going to be someone who, decides to just, I don't know, sleep for a week and not to do anything at all. You do have this motivation and you have a drive. We all have it up and down sometimes. So I'm talking about this quality of you where you are very focused on work and probably the finances, and that's probably something that is going quite well. Well, some people might think that, having 10K in the bank is well. Some other people think it's 1K. So regardless of where you stand, I do think that your career is good. But then what you're also good at, what I'm looking at here, is giving yourself bullshit in your head, right? So probably you are very perfectionist in that sense, where I need to do more, I need to achieve more, I'm maybe not good enough specifically when it comes to finances and stability. Now, I've asked, where is an issue lying when it comes to not getting a balanced enough relationship? And we do have the emotional space, which is your mom, your grandma. I don't know who raised you, but pay attention to that. We have the 5 of Cups here, which is emotion. So when this happens, it means that you had a really good person in your life who probably have showed you how to stand up on your feet, which is that, again, this work life and, foundation of yours. But when it came to probably giving you enough emotional, support or expressing themselves emotionally to you, maybe there was a lack somewhere, regardless of which parent we are talking about. Because I'm feeling like for some people it might be a father, for some a mother. Maybe some of you have been raised by one of them and there was a lack in the emotional department somehow. And it seems like what you are doing right now, you're really good at your career, your goals, but it almost feels like, again, what you said, you are ready to attract a right partner, but a lot of you don't feel like you are worthy almost of a partner like this. And it's coming through, again, pay attention to your emotions. Are you spending enough time being loving and compassionate and vulnerable, most importantly, with people around you? Or are you healing the issues with mom or grandma, or anyone who has a lot of feminine energy who has raised you? Look at that department, because once you're going to start healing that, I am seeing that you are going to, for a lot of you, attract the connection that you are meant to be with. And this is going to be someone who is coming from your past life. A lot of you right now is in this energy field where you do know that you love yourself when it comes to getting things done for yourself, your own goals, which we have here with love yourself first, right? And for some of you, by the way, there might be a pause right now, so if things are stagnant a bit, don't worry. This time is given to you in order to develop or take time to think things through, to ground yourself better. You might not be sleeping really well or just being anxious. This time is given to you for a reason, this is saying, okay? Now, there are 2 options, what I'm seeing for pile number 1, and it depends what you're going to get. It depends on your actions. You can have a person who is going to be great as a soulmate for you, and you're going to have a great relationship, but it feels like if you're not going to focus on healing, on balancing the masculine and the feminine in you, you might have a connection that is quite long-term, but it might be something that is lacking, something is lacking in it over time. And I'm talking 5 years in. Like I'm being overly specific here, so I hope it's making sense. Now, for those who are already working on your, and you're working on your energies, and you may be spending more time being vulnerable, coming back to your childhood, you know, fixing those relationships, or trying to be a little bit different to what you were used to, right? Go, go, go type, juggling things. And you're probably going to attract a person who is going to be very soon the one that you marry. And this is going to develop very soon. Like I would give it 2 years, they're probably going to be married. You're going to be like, that's the one. Everything is in perfect balance. Now, it's interesting how Joey was pulling out the Knight card, and the quote said, saying yes means getting up and acting on your belief that you can create meaning and purpose in whatever life hands you. And for you, it seems like you might be a little bit self-sabotaging this, future partner of yours. You might be thinking, because of the old set of beliefs, that I didn't have such a deep or meaningful connection. And I don't know, like, I don't know. And that's what you need to skip, like erase it. I don't know, erase it and write it down as I am getting it, you know, I'm ready. Because a lot of people feel like they almost like self-sabotage in pile number one, the relationship that they're going to have is going to be great regardless, you know, the soulmate or, you know, the other person. I see two options. I don't know why. It depends on your growth. We're almost like afraid of being emotionally, you know, open and vulnerable and jumping into this. And it's understandable, because if you were all the time, you know, focused on your goals and doing things on your own, or, you know, just struggling with life on your own, and traumas that you had, maybe some accidents, you might not be used to this. You know, someone comes in your life and says, hey, let me hug you when you are down. You might be like, oh, I don't know how to handle this now. So that's something to pay attention to, because once you start acknowledging that, you're going to start seeing that things are moving much faster for you. Just don't self-sabotage, because the relationship that is coming, I do see for a lot of you, is going to be great. But just put in that effort, or maybe analyze a bit why you are like you are, and heal the past traumas.
That's so weird. That's so interesting, just because as you're speaking, I'm like feeling everything that I was feeling already. You've made it so much like, wow, because it's like when you're picking it up and I can feel what I was feeling as well. I was like, oh, I can feel what you're saying. And I just want to point one last thing to say is what I didn't say before, is I feel like you're afraid to go back into a relationship that might be like similar to the past, but you're not going to attract. It's a different, I really feel like it's different.
New exciting thing, because when you were channeling, I wrote down, you know, pile number one, and I saw a star. So for me, it feels like these people might be seeing that that's so far away, but it's really very close if you're going to be as close.
Yeah.
So there are going to be coming for pile number one. Just work on that emotional space.
Okay, so we will begin. Hello, pile number two. Welcome. So before we begin, I'm going to start channeling, and then I will use some of the cards after. We're going to see what is in your energy right now, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper. So I'm seeing a lot of you guys, I don't know why, but I feel like a lot of you are spending a lot of time on the couch, on the sofa, wherever you're from in the world, and you're spending a lot of time on social media, and you're also like looking at other people's relationships, maybe from like vlogs or something, I'm not sure, but you also are trying to use this as a way of, you know, visualizing a certain relationship that somebody already has, and you're trying to like think like, oh, I wish I could have someone that would treat me like this, is what I'm picking up. I also feel like with this pile group, there is a little bit of blaming yourself, and you're trying to find the balance of like what I did wrong in the relationship and what they did wrong, and you're working with your third eye a lot. I'm seeing that. So you are trying, your intuition is kind of switched on at the minute, but it's also kind of like you're getting a little bit confused as to what it is that you really should be doing right now. So I'm seeing a lot of like energetic fog is what I see it like this, when you're like, you're tapped into your third eye, but as well, because you're not connected down here in your heart space, because of the blame, and you're not forgiving people for certain things that they may have done to you in the past, you're kind of not connecting the two most important things. Also your sacral chakra as well, that's the sexual energy, but it's more so these two, the third eye and the heart. So if you could just drop down into here and start to feel things from here, you're going to be able to ask yourself different questions that are going to be very much upsetting in the beginning, and you're going to, you know, probably cry, and you're probably going to heal a lot quicker when you drop down into here and stop trying to visualize as much, because you're using these movies, different things, movies, YouTube videos, and people's relationships and stuff, and you're romanticizing it up when it's not yours. It's just something that you want. Okay, so that's what I'm picking up strongly from that. It's, you're trying to find the balance of trying to not play the victim and be like, it was their fault the way that they treated me, and this is affecting me. And you're realizing that now. Some of you may still be kind of stuck in this kind of victim mentality, but the rest of you, I feel like you're aware of it, but you just don't know how to now kind of neutralize it, because you're struggling with, you know, holding yourself accountable, because you attracted that energy into your life because you were a little bit codependent on them being the partner that's meant to just be your security blanket. Because at the end of the day, we all change, and we can't just, you know, latch on to someone. It's hard to say this, but sometimes we will find the one, but sometimes it's just not right. You can't hold on to them. And if they're pulling away from you, it's going to be hard. The longer you let it go like that, the harder it's going to be to let go, or the more you're going to have to heal. So I'm picking up. So that could be a lot to do with your past and stuff, but also I want to kind of find how you can heal that. So that's what I'm going to pull cards on, because I feel like you're there, you have the awareness, but now you're just kind of like, you need a little bit of an extra kick to understand where to kind of go from here. So I will pull the Deviant Moon Tarot deck for this because it's very straight to the point. Brigitte, are you there? I thought you were frozen.
I mean, I
Any...
pulled cards before you said some things already, and this is again tying in so perfectly.
Do you have anything you want to add before I start?
I'm just gonna do it at the end, so I'm gonna let you finish first.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to work with the third eye chakra first. Okay, I feel that this is where this is coming from. You are draining yourself at the end of the day. I'm seeing this as the end of the day because the moon's here and he's got all of these wands, pentacles, sticks, whatever, and they're just, I feel like you carry so much with you throughout the day of different things that you're thinking and visualizing, and then you kind of like don't know how to deal with it, so you go on and you try it and watch something, or distract yourself with some sort of a TV show or social media or something to just like hide how you're really feeling. So you're creating more heaviness on the heart, but it's more to do with here. So that's why you're probably not able to feel like you want to go down and emotionally realize why it is you're feeling certain ways, because you've got so much here. You might even, I feel like some of you actually have shoulder pains or neck pains, and that neck pains as well as your throat chakra, but it can kind of, if it's coming then to giving you a headache, it can also be because of your third eye. Always pay attention to this card. Always pops that into my head for me to point out. But when the 10 of Wands comes, it always is like weighing you down from having that like life force energy that we need to like go after what we want. So if you're thinking about things and kind of up here, you're going to get a sore head eventually, and everything's just going to feel so dense and so hard to like deal with. So I would do a lot of energy work that is a little bit like just what you said before, Brigitte. You were saying that you were dancing around your room.
Literally, before starting recording.
Yeah, that is such a good thing to do to kind of get out of here. Because when you're dancing to a heavy beat or like a really like heavy drum beat is like such a good root chakra like thing to do. And I do that sometimes when I feel like I'm up in my head too much. Because if you're up in your head already and then you go and meditate, that doesn't always work. It actually kind of makes you.
People don't like, unless they know how to ground themselves and finish it off with meditation, where, you know, back to root, then you're helping. But when you're up there and you meditate, you make it worse where you're not grounded at all.
Wow, sorry, the card that just came out. Oh. It's literally like, I'm gonna speak. Oh, okay. I'll just pull one more so people don't get a little scared of this energy. But I see why people don't want to go down there into their, yeah, okay. This, I have to just pull the cards that came out because this is the way they came out. So the first card that came out was, I was now picking up like, why don't you want to work with your heart space? And we have the Tower, and the way that I'm looking at that again, from that other card with the full moon, I really feel like you pay attention to the moon cycles and how they affect you, because sometimes people are affected by the full moon more and some people are affected more by the new moon. But for you, I'm picking up that it has to do with the full moon a little bit, where in your intuition, or when it's that time of the month as well, I feel like stuff happens where you're just can't deal. And I think that has to do with addictions as well. So certain addictions like overeating when you're on your period or whatever, and feeling like just you can't handle things because your emotions are even higher at those times of the month. I think that that's something you keep dipping into that every time it comes around. So I'm picking that up from this, but as well, the bigger thing here is, intuitively that when you go here, you're going to have a lot of things to deal with, and you are going to really feel it. That's why I felt, did I say that I feel like this group would cry when they start to do healing?
I don't know. I was so like focused on cards, I might have missed out.
Yeah, I think I said that you're going to feel like I feel like you will start crying definitely with this energy. And then we have the Seven of Wands, but with this one, it's like you don't want to admit certain things to yourself. That's the hardest thing here, but you're ready to do it. You know that when you start admitting things that you're feeling emotionally that you've been holding down for such a long time, that's when you're going to see the biggest transformation here, okay? Because you're not tricking anyone anymore. You're not tricking anyone with these two cards here. You're going to have to move through this in a way that works for you, but it's going to be quite difficult. That's what I'm picking up. But again, being aware of this, you can shift it. It doesn't have to be like these cards are showing. It can be a lot different if you are aware of, okay, paying attention to different things like outside of you as well, and letting them reflect back is going to really help you with this process. But yeah, that's what I'm picking up for group number 2. Finding the balance.
All right. I don't even know where to start. I might take a bit longer with this one because there's so much I want to say. So I'm sorry if I'm going to bore you, Joe, but what I'm seeing here, I have a synchronicity with all the cards that I've pulled here in the book. And I didn't choose a paragraph. I just went like, that's the one. And it all vibes. Now, we need to start with, I don't even know where. I'm going to start with this card, Become a Loving Mirror. I'm going to read bits from the book, and I want you guys to take a look at this card. So this is talking about you. If you see a shadow there, this is saying what you wish other people and how you approach other people in your life, that's what comes back to you. So anything that is maybe the dark side, which we have here, ride your dark side, right? Ride it. This is literally what this card is saying. Enjoy the darkness. Saying, find the darkness in yourself, specifically when it comes to partnerships of yours. What is it that you don't like or pisses you off in the partner? And that is very, very important for pile 2, because we have quite a bit to talk about when it comes to this mirror. You know, I don't like this in you, and I'm going to speak it out. And probably pile 2s do that, like, or maybe become very like passionate about expressing opinions. So this Furgan card that I showed you at the very beginning, it says, the simple and selfish joy that comes from knowing something good has happened to someone else fulfills and heals the angry, self-pitying soul. It's time for emotion unification and appreciation for self and others. When we delight in the well-being and success of others, we mirror these thoughts. As has been demonstrated and proven in the science of quantum physics, we both become part of what we identify and acknowledge. Now, we're heading into the next chapter here. So I've asked, what is the issue when it comes to finding a right partner for pile 2? We do have the Knight of Wands coming up. Specifically in this deck, I interpret it differently. You might have not had a very stable family dynamics in general. Maybe some of you were raised by a couple of different father or mother images, or, you know, people who represented father and mother for you. It might not have been a very stable family, or you traveled quite a lot and you changed places. And I'm seeing here what you're seeking for now, which is completely normal, taking that maybe you felt like you were out of place. I've pulled the card and it's, I mean, come on. The Four of Pentacles, meaning the stability that you maybe didn't have when you were growing up in your family. Now, the issue here with this is that something that you're looking for. The issue here is, I've asked, what is it that you need to do to attract a good partnership? It does seem like maybe for a lot of you tend to subconsciously look for partners who do have the stability that you didn't have, meaning the money or the house or something that feels like stability but lacks in major other departments, right? Now, what you need to do to attract a good partner is to become the Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is someone who's independent. They have built that golden fence. They bosses, businesswoman. It doesn't mean that you have to have a business, but it says that you have to be financially independent and not seek for someone to give it to you, or to give not even finances, but that stability. You have to create it yourself. Now, I opened the book, and it's interesting because there's one more aspect to this. Some people gonna probably vibe with this more. You might have grown, you are grown up maybe, or you still have some people in your circle who are quite negative. So I'm just gonna get into it. It says, it is amazing and empowering to have the support of a strong, motivated and inspirational group of people. And it goes, if you are now cringing with the realization that people in your life belong in the weak, stuck and depressed category, don't worry. Awareness of this fact is the key to this solution. Most of us are not aware that we belong to the moaning and groaning crowd until we stop moaning and groaning ourselves. We then become aware and things automatically start to take care of themselves. So that's something to pay attention to too, like how much of that do you have yourself? Because we started with becoming a loving mirror, where I am coming to you with joy for your successes and how much you have, and I'm not thinking how much I don't have when I look at you and I see your growth, right? And that is very important for pile number 2's truly getting into this Nine of Pentacles position where you do feel stable on your own, and that's when you're going to attract different kind of people in your life. It does seem like for a lot of you too, you started talking about the couch, and I started nodding, I think, very early on, because when you were talking about it, I have already pulled Keep an Open Mind card, meaning some of you probably think, or you do have some kind of a concept or an image of a person you want to have. So it might be someone who maybe is financially successful, or who does have specific exterior traits. Like, for example, I had someone ages ago commenting on one of the videos, description of a future partner or spouse, something along those lines. And they said, I could never be with a short man. And now you're already reducing your happiness because you don't know what kind of man would make you happy, because that's not something that matters when it comes to core values. This is the exterior. And keep an open mind card is up here saying the person who is probably going to be the best suitable for you or the really good match will probably differ from what your ego might want. So pay attention to that. And that's what I have to say for pile 2.
I love it. Wow, that was so good. Oh my God. I love that as well. Like, I find that people do that a lot though. They put types of people that they want in a box,
They
especially
restrict themselves from happiness. Yeah.
yeah, especially if they want to know what their future partner exactly looks like. I get that sometimes too, and I'm like, oh, you're restricting. But
Yeah.
it's all
I
about
do, I do have a reading on that, but you know what I've noticed? I touch a bit on the how they look like, but I've noticed that sometimes tarot goes, no, not gonna tell you, and I tell people like it's not showing me much, and there's a reason for that, you know.
yeah. Okay.
So let's move on to pile 3. This is fun.
Yeah, I love this. Okay. Hello, Pie 3. So before we begin, I'm going to channel a little bit and then I'm going to use the cards after. So let me just center myself. Radiator just made a noise, sorry. Wow, okay. I'm seeing here some of you are very much business orientated and you are very much someone who is very professional in the way that they speak and the way that they work, and you are a little bit of a workaholic, but I'm not seeing it as a bad thing. I just see that you're very much taking on all aspects. So you're working on yourself, you're working on whatever your job is, and you also maybe have something on the side. But I really feel that your main focus here is working towards becoming more enlightened, which is great. And I also think that the energy that you're attracting right now is you're attracting people who are very much like-minded, or who act almost similar to you. I'm seeing like you meeting people at like I'm feeling like it's also over like Zoom as well, weirdly enough, probably because the times we're in. But I feel like you're having almost like, I don't know if I like this, but it might resonate. I wouldn't be this person, but I feel like you're kind of interviewing, being a little bit too professional with how you talk when you first meet someone. So that's coming up for a reason. So just let me see a little bit. This is a front that you use. This is like your masculine way of, this is how you got to where you are right now in life. So you attract people who are also quite masculine in their energy. It's not a bad thing. And it's not that it's an unbalanced energy at all, but it's just like, I think if you let the feminine kind of come in when it comes to relationships that you're trying to pursue, you're going to end up with a different sort of person. So it doesn't matter, whatever you strive for, let that be your like motivation. So if you want someone that's also very like work focused, but just understand that there might be a little bit of difficulty with that as well. It's funny, we were talking about this beforehand, Brigitte. So I'm picking that up. Like, it's just like if you're both working, you're going to find it a little bit hard to spend time together. And as well, like if you're so focused on becoming enlightened, it's almost like you don't have time for someone else. So just understand that as well, because you can still go towards that kind of path. Everyone can be going towards enlightenment, but we can also go there with someone. So just understand that a little bit more. But I do feel like you need to just let your emotions speak through your throat chakra, because if you're speaking through the business professional side, almost like an interview kind of person, you're going to find someone that's also kind of rigid. I don't know. I feel like you're going to get that because it's going to be a test for you to just break through that, because I see that that's not what you want, but you're attracting it. So let me just pull some more cards. I'm going to pull this set because it's actually kind of a little bit feminine for me. So let me just see. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Empress. Let me see. Why? I just want to ask, like, why? Also, I was picking up. Too many things were coming in. I was picking up as well that you do definitely want someone who has their own inspirations in life. You really, if they don't have like an intellectual mind and they don't have a way of, you don't want someone who's just going to sit on the couch and do nothing. You actually want someone who has their own drive. But you are attracting someone who's kind of trying to challenge you, is what I'm picking up. So just maybe like working a little bit more on your divine feminine energy. I feel like naturally that's what's happening to the world anyway. But Seven of Swords, it's almost like, I feel that you, with the swords, again, that's communication. I feel like the communication, it goes a certain way each time that you talk with someone, that eventually it's like, nah, I gotta get out of here. This is not for me, not for me. You kind of like just get up and like don't trust it. You feel like there's something not right about this person, or you're just like, they're clearly not for me because of something, one little thing that they said. Like, you have to be a little bit more you have to let the conversation flow and not think about the next thing that they're going to say or the next thing that you're going to say, because what happens then is you're creating this, like, it already going wrong, because when you get too far ahead of yourself, then it turns out like kind of like this energy in this Seven of Swords. It's like you want to just escape them because you're going too fast, and then you're not trusting the conversation to flow the way that it naturally should. With emotional relationships, it's all about flowing with each other. Page of Cups, I was picking that up as well, that you look at someone sometimes and you think they're so not in touch with their emotional side, but is that a reflection of yourself as well? Because I feel like you're saying that sometimes, and then again, you're not really questioning how you are feeling about certain people, because that, having that thought that someone's not emotionally ready is actually a negative thing, because when you reflect that back, that's what you're saying to yourself, but you're not dealing with it. So I'm picking that up as well. A lot of work here on, I feel like it has more to do with the heart, your heart space. I feel like the rest of you is like your sacral, all of the other emotional energy points. Eight of Wands. I just need to pull one more for that because I didn't really have a specific question. Well, I do now. I knew once I pulled it.
That laugh was terrifying.
Okay, so this is why I said I felt like your sacral, like your sexual side, your sexual energy is very much, you got it together. And that comes with the confidence again, like, when it comes to intimate situations, what you want to, you're not afraid to be like, you can do that, or you can touch me there, or whatever. You're very much like, good at communicating with how you want to sexually go about things, and wherever, in the bedroom or whatever. But I feel like
Let's get more in depth about that.
I could, but I won't. I was having like visuals earlier on, and I was like,
You need to start OnlyFans, Joey, just purely based on this topic. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's so funny. Sometimes on my channel, I do go a little bit deeper on this stuff, and I regret it sometimes because I can't stop then. But here, what I'm picking up, just with this orange energy, and the Eight of Wands is very much, I was picking up sacral chakra energy from this, but whenever you start to find the balance with the masculine and the feminine energy, you're going to then just naturally gravitate to your heart space, and it's just naturally going to come. Like, you're not really going to feel like you're having to do much. But when you just read up a little bit on how you can kind of invite that feminine energy into your space, it's literally when you set intentions to want to invite that kind of energy in, which is like the moon energy or the water. There's so many different elements and archetypes and things that you can work with that are going to help you kind of realize that. But when you find, especially with water, which is sacral energy again, and this is a temperance card, when you kind of work with this, you're going to naturally gravitate into your heart space. And it's coming up a lot in readings recently because it's has to do with like the way that the world is going. We're kind of dipping now into more feminine and being more prominent on the earth. Well, it's going to take a long time, but it's more natural for this to kind of be happening right now. And I feel like with this Eight of Wands, you're going to find a partner that can keep you up all night. That's what I was picking up the whole time. I felt that.
Wow.
Exciting. Yeah.
Okay. I felt you in this reading because it took me a while to wrap my head around this one, because I do get two different storylines about people. Would you number 3 or 2? I'm lost.
Three.
So I think there are a couple of storylines, but I hope I'm gonna express it as well as I can for you guys. Now, what I'm saying, I'm gonna talk about family a bit. I do see a situation where I'm bringing you back your parents, because that is very influential to who you might be choosing for yourself as a partner. I do see a situation where you watching this, maybe you are drawn between two energies, meaning is that my dad or dad image, you know, even if you didn't have a dad, someone maybe have been a dad for you. Do I listen to a dad? Do I listen to a mom? You know, and then who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? And it seems like there was a bit of a diversity there. And maybe that has confused you before. And you do have this energy, you know, a bit of this masculinity, a bit of this femininity, but your femininity is the one that suffers. Like Joey, you picked it up. And it does seem like maybe something, I'm sensing some kind of tragedy has happened that has influenced some things. Maybe there was some kind of addiction in the family. Pay attention to that too, how that impacted you and who you choose as your partner. Now, I've asked, what is it that pile number 3 have to focus on more? That's something you picked up. We have the emotional space, saying, hey, sometimes, and you talked about it, you know, you don't have to approach every single connection as an interview. Be a little bit more lighthearted. We have playfulness card here as well. And 9 of Cups, you know, hey, let's go out, or hey, let's go talk. And it doesn't have to be very, I almost want to call it staged, or you don't have to act like you are interviewing someone, and you know, or just let loose a little bit when it comes to partnerships. And you're gonna find out who this person is and who you even are through allowing yourself to play a bit more. Bring out the inner child. There might have been some traumas in the childhood. Maybe you didn't have time to play out and about. Maybe you had to have responsibilities pretty soon, or to take care of someone. But regardless of that, your cards are asking you to go out and play a bit more, and it's going to help you in your relationship with others too. This is a tough pile. This is someone also, there's one more scenario. You might not be able to let go of someone from the past, because I do see there is an energy of new love somewhere there. But because someone is focused on someone specifically, or there are still ties, energetic ties from the past connection of some sort, the new love or the new kind of a person can't come in. So it can be either that or either the healing that needs to be done in order to allow the new type of relationship to come in. Now, I'm going to read a little bit from the book and also from, how's it called, Magic of You Oracle. So one of the cards that you have, what is it that needs to be worked on? We have compassion for others. And then we have you belong to paradise. I'm going to talk about compassion for others. You belong to paradise. This is saying, hey, life doesn't have to be based on only traumatic or difficult events that you've seen in the past. Life can be light and can be playful if you make it to be. But it's all about the balance. You know, how much do I work? How much do I play? And it goes the same for how much money I earn and how open and vulnerable can I be at the same time, right? So let's talk about the Ubuntu, I don't know how to pronounce it, that card. It says, what if you were solely defined by your compassion for others and the kindness you extended? How would your life look? How would you conduct yourself if humanity was solely what you were noted for? Consider how your benevolence can extend to other species and creatures. And it describes the girl in the picture. It says, the girl pierces her own eye with a leaf, and in doing so opens the window to her soul and learns from the challenges and the gifts of others' journeys. She's peaceful and reflective. There is no pain, only greater understanding and greater wisdom. And this is saying, you know, what this representation is for me is like almost like, okay, she's piercing her eye, but that's whatever the difficulty you went through or trauma, it's saying, how do you want to approach it? Do you want to say, this is me in a tragic situation and I'm never going to get up from this? Or this is me opening my eyes to something new. I want to break a cycle. Now, I'm going to read a little bit from the book because I couldn't like wrap it up very quickly. So I was like, I'm just going to read the whole paragraph. It says, what can be more frightening than depending on someone else for one's survival? As fearful adults, we ask the same questions we did as a child. Will they go away and not come back? Maybe someone has lost a parent. Will they stop loving me? Will they take care of me? Will they get sick and die? As adults, we ask these questions about our mates and often about our friends, bosses, parents, and even children. There might be an abandonment issue here for pile 3, so I'd pay attention to that. It says people who fear can't genuinely give. They are imbued in deep-seated sense of scarcity in the world, as if there wasn't enough to go around. Not enough love, not enough money, not enough praise, not enough attention, simply not enough. Usually fear in one area of our lives generalizes and we become closed down and protective in many areas of our lives. Fearful people can be visualized as crouched and hugging themselves, whereas this image represents the inner state of all frightened people. The outer manifestation can take on many forms. I'm just going to mention a couple of them, and maybe you're going to recognize where you which one you are resonating with. Example, successful businessmen needing the boss's approval. Housewives who blame their husbands or children for the fact they have never lived their own lives. Independent career women who demand so much from their men that they are often alone. Men who can't tolerate their wives' independence. Company executives who make harmful, irresponsible decisions. So now these are the masculine and feminine examples, but maybe pay attention to what feels the closest to you, and ask yourself why and from which parent or lack of parent it came from. Because another thing, what I'm seeing for pile 3 is maybe lack of patience when it comes to relationship. I've asked a question, what is your advice? We have the Page of Pentacles. This page for me, I take it a bit like a Knight of Pentacles because it's just observing. This page is not doing anything. I'd say also, maybe you need to become a little bit more. Did you pull 7 of Swords for this one or last one?
Not this one yet.
Okay, so that's a bit of 7 of Swords energy for me here, where this page is very mysterious. Maybe there is for you something in where you need to be a little bit more reserved or take care a bit more of yourself and not give everything away so quickly. If so, pay attention to why you are doing this, and it's coming from the family. And then once you acknowledge it and realize that, you're gonna break the cycle. But for pile 3, I really wanna say to go out and have fun. If someone is showing you attention, you don't have to start thinking about, let's say if they have a house, or if I like their legs, or if I like their face. Just enjoy the affection and let that, natural course take place, basically. So I hope that made sense.
That was so on point. Oh my God, I loved it. What is that book called? Is it the Fear book?
It's by Susan Jeffers, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, but it touches on many things.
I love, like, just from, I vibe with that, so I'm gonna probably get that.
Yeah, get it. Like, I didn't read this whole book, but every time I needed advice, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna read this page. Like, that's how what I do with it. A bit like the book of answers you have gifted me.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that actually. Okay, so we move on to pile number 4. So,
oh my God, 4. I'm still in 3.
okay, hello, pile number 4. So just before we begin, I'm going to channel for a little bit first, and then I will pull. I'm going to use the 2 decks for this group, just because I feel like it. So yeah, let me just center myself a little here first. Okay. I'm straight away picking up that you already make things complicated before it even happens. So what I mean by that, I feel that like you already think that the passion isn't there, and this has to do with, funny, we're going to be talking about this and picking it up. I'm feeling a little bit of perfectionism, not so much in other areas of your life as much, but when it comes to having that, fire within you sexually, it's like you're a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to that. I feel that it has to do with, there maybe wasn't a spark. Could be in the relationships around you, and you keep seeing people like going into relationships, and then they just kind of get married, and there's no spark anymore, and they're still with each other, and you kind of feel like there's no I'm seeing, it's like you just like look, and you look to the other side, and you're like, oh, why does every relationship seem to be this way? Why is everyone just get in a relationship when they don't even like each other? Or you have this kind of negative viewpoint on other people's relationships that it's affecting your own mind. And what I want to say here for this group is that you definitely need to drop way down. I'm seeing a lot of light coming in. The way I'm seeing this is I can just see that there's too much light coming in, which for me is like, too much light is a little bit blinding. Whenever you are so much focused up towards like the unknown, and you have it's like you're way open. I'm seeing massive, like, almost like, how do I explain this? So whenever I focus on light for myself, I know if it feels like it's too expanded or it's going out like this, kind of, I feel like I have to do this. So I have to close it so it's just a pillar of light. But for you, it feels like it's just, you're so much up here that you really have lost your passion towards physical touch, knowing your own body, how your own body makes you feel. You're also a little bit, probably, some of you, not all of you, want to look a certain way to attract a certain type of person, which is not going to help you attract the right person at all. This is something that really only lasts at the start, and then it doesn't work. So really work on a little bit more of self-love, but also letting yourself love others. That's one of the best things I've realized in life recently, is when you start to let yourself love other people as well. Like, it works both ways. Like, we're so focused nowadays, self-love, self-love, self-love. but then you kind of block yourself off from loving anyone else as well, because when it gets too much focused on the self-love. So what I'm seeing here for you is you need to just let it happen. Don't expect things to go a certain way with someone. Like, you know, if they don't hold your hand, no, that's silly because I don't feel like that's something. But like, let me hold on because I'm a little bit off on a tangent. Like, yeah, okay, I feel like if, for example, you ask for a massage and they don't want to give you a massage, it has a lot to do with physical touch for me. So I feel like your love language, pile number 4, has a lot to do with um physical touch and physical comfort, but you have kind of um been a little bit out of your body, so you can't even really feel what it is that you resonate with because of this whole perfectionism that you've created in your mind. So what I would really say here is start to spend more time even walking around naked, doing things that have given you a little bit more of that, because you can't, I know, for I'm seeing this for people, like you can't just look in the mirror and say, oh, I look beautiful, if you don't really believe it. Like you can't do that. So one of the best things that you can do is start appreciating things, the little tiny little details in life. Like that dog is just, if you like dogs, just feel the beauty, feel it and let that grow inside you. It sounds kind of like confusing, but what I do is I appreciate, like I was kayaking the other day and I was out on the ocean, and it was a really rough day for me as well, someone who's afraid of the ocean. It was rough, but I've really started working with the element of water because it's the only one I didn't really resonate with for a long time. And that day that I was out there, I had my hands in the water. Everyone else was kind of nervous, and for me to be the only one that was like in pure zen, like I can't explain it. I felt so much love and gratitude for the waves, the ocean, the cliffs. Oh, it was just, that is going to, once you start to feel that, you're going to start feeling the beauty within. Because if you can appreciate things outside of you, not people, not who you're attracted to, don't focus on that for now. Focus on the things that are way more small, like things that people don't think about, like small things like that, like just the waves, the current. But yeah, let me just see a little bit more here. What is it? I want to see why have you become so kind of like hard on yourself? I want to see what that's. Okay, we have the 3 of Wands reversed. I want to pull one more because I have mixed messages with that. Excuse me. I feel like this, for me, you think that you've gotten over something and you think that you've healed from it, but you haven't. And I'm not exactly sure if this is something that you're aware of either, because I think it could have to do with certain stuff that happened in your family life as well, and it kind of intertwines. So there's for some reason it's like there's a repeating pattern here that you need to become aware of, and it has to do with family. So your parents maybe, and Brigitte will probably talk about this a little deeper, but family, but also um you aren't aware of the type of relationship you like. I don't know what it is. There's something so specific about the relationship that you attracted before, and you haven't really understood it fully. I don't know, because it's, with this being reversed, it's like you haven't really understood it yet. You thought you've gotten over it, or you've like, oh, okay, I attracted that because of this, but there's something a little bit deeper here, is what I'm picking up, that you're not letting yourself see it. I don't know. I'm gonna pull one more from
It's a
this.
bit of a complicated situation. I know why I struggle.
It actually is. It's kind of like, again, I'm seeing that there isn't enough passion again with you, like other things that are affecting your life too, like because you've become so judgmental on how things go in your life, you don't let yourself have this passion, or you don't let yourself, get excited too quickly because you've kind of already defeated yourself. Self-sabotage again. Brigitte is coming up with this Ace of Wands, and it's coming again from your mother. I'm picking this up. It's also coming from your mother. So maybe just some of the stuff that she's might have said in the past, or maybe like you're never going to find anyone if you're that fussy all the time. I feel like that's one of the main things you're hearing, which is kind of not a nice thing to hear. I know you've had that, Brigitte. Like people thinking that I had that as well, where people say, because I respect myself, I'm fussy, but I'm aware of it, so I don't let that affect me. But I think
I
for you,
think once you're really happy being on your own, and for it lasts for some time, then people start asking you why you're single, and it's very difficult to explain it to people who don't understand how one can be truly happy on their own. But that requires a lot of work and experiences and spirituality and self-development, where not
very,
everyone has time for it.
it's so weird, Brigitte, because what you just said just resonates with these. I pulled the Hierophant reversed, and I pulled the King of Pentacles reversed. I feel that you have already kind of decided this is something that this is what you need to work through. Is I feel like you've already made up your mind that you're never going to attract a husband or someone that is always there for you. And I feel like you've kind of made that up sometimes in your head. This is what you need to shift. You need to realize that that's a bad place to be. You can completely just get out of that if you start focusing on looking at it in a different way. Like, it doesn't have to be so traditional, or it doesn't have to be the way that you want it to be, because I feel like you're trying to make it into how other people's relationships went, and you don't want it to go that way. So you're thinking, if I get into a relationship, it's going to go like their relationships, because that's the collective energy. And you're blaming, like, all kind of, not blaming, but you're kind of seeing society and the way that it's went for such a long time, that you're like, I don't think I could get in a relationship with how things are these days with men and how they act. That's what one of the main things we need people to do now, is to help men become more emotional, because they've been like so blinded for such a long time, because they were told not to be in their feminine energy. They're told to suppress their emotions. They're told all of these things that need to change and are going to change eventually, but it's going to take time. But we need to be open-minded to them changing. And that's what I'm picking up for group number 4. But that was complicated, but I kind of knew now why in the end. It's because it's like you don't see it. So yeah, that was deep.
I don't know if it's gonna make sense to you, Joe, but I'm picking up a bit of different things here. It's very similar to what you said. I'm going to talk more about the family maybe dynamics and what you might be lacking and what to focus on and all that stuff. So what I'm seeing, it does seem like you guys might be, this is like, I'm just going to say it, you might feel like your soul was born in a country where you don't belong there. And maybe there were some restrictions in religion itself. And maybe you felt like the maybe husband or wife that you want to have is by, the traditions that maybe your parents had, it's not going to go hand in hand, and you have restricted yourself and you think that that's not achievable for you. Other thing, for some other people I'm seeing here, you might have had parents who were very, very strict. And they have told you, that's not the type of a person we want you to be with, or they were showing you examples on TV, or, examples of friends and friends. And they were like, look how you're going to end up with if you're going to chase certain people, right? So that is something that I'm seeing for pile 4. It's quite a complicated situation. There's some kind of, even if those examples don't apply, there's some kind of restriction that your parents might have put you in so that you feel that you're not able to walk the walk. Now, one more thing, what I'm seeing here, maybe you were too cared for, and what happens then when someone is being too cared for from one of the parents, things are done for them, they lack in responsibility, because when they go out and live their own lives, they're like, I might as well just not do, I don't know how to do this, or I don't know how to make my own decisions. And it does seem like maybe sometimes you feel like you're very unstable in a couple of departments, and you're like, I don't know, I'm being pulled and pushed towards two things. Now, what's going to help you when finding a balanced relationship, I'm seeing here, take responsibility. Take responsibility for your actions and choices. That's what I'm going to decide to do. I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to see how it goes. Not thinking and getting stuck in your own head, where is that something that others going to approve of? If that's something good for me? There's a lot of fear in pile number 4, right? There's a lot of fear, almost like I am not allowed because of something to explore a certain relationship. I don't know what that something is to you. Religion, a set of belief, parents. What you're being told is to get out and learn how to play a bit more. For pile 4, it's very important to learn how to be, for example, if you are a female watching this and you never had a male, friend at any point in your life, you always have kind of friends, but like someone a bit closer. I'm not saying that you have to have a male friend, because it usually doesn't work out when it's very close connection, but just that kind of guy, would help you out. It does seem like you need to somehow learn how to become friends with the opposite sex, or with the same sex that you are wishing to get married with, right? There is something about the friendship here. You need to learn how to be friends first, and then see where you want to take it. Kind of allow yourself not to overthink how you're going to act, or how you need to present yourself in order for this other person to like you. Go on a date, or go meet them, whoever you're talking to, in sneakers, or in something casual, just show your true self, this is saying, and be who you truly are. You do have some abilities here, I'm seeing here, specifically spiritual, some kind of powers, pile number 4s. It might be maybe you are, some people, when they get into spirituality, they restrict themselves so much about everything, and that's when the balance goes like this, and they start living an unhealthy life. So it might be that for some people, they were like, okay, I can only date certain types of people now, right? Which can be an issue too. Now, what I'm seeing here for pile 4 also, you might tend to, if you were over cared for by one of the parents, you might tend to give too much care to someone else, and you don't allow them to care for you first, or for that balance to happen, of give and take. That's something that is quite important here that I'm seeing. Allow this to unfold naturally. Don't jump into this very fast, or don't build walls up, because this is very black and white, for me, pile number 4. So that's why I'm being pushed towards the both directions. I want to talk about certain things from the book. I'm just going to read it out. Now, where do we start? It's about taking responsibility. I don't know why this is coming through. Before you are ready for the partner that you need to meet, learn how to be a leader in any situation in your life, because you're meant to be leaders, but somehow, maybe because your parents did something instead of you or for you, you don't know how to be responsible, and you're afraid of being responsible, because now everything is on your shoulders, if that makes sense. Where did I wanna, wait one second, guys. Okay, I didn't expect that, but let's go from here. One clue that you are truly taking responsibility is when you feel little or no anger towards the person. You realize that you chose to be there in the past and you are now choosing to leave. Nothing is the other's fault. He, she is doing the best she can given the level of personal growth. Anger is your clue that you are not taking responsibility. So pay attention to anger management here too. Maybe that is a blockage in future relationships. Relationship with another is only one area where you can give away your power. It is important to look at all other areas of your life as well to determine where you are not taking responsibility. And I don't know why I keep wanting to talk about this, because I've asked, what is pile number 4 lacking? And we have the 10 of wands, taking maybe that burden on their shoulders. Maybe thinking of, listen, I'm going to be with a partner now. I do have my own issues, but can I help you out? And how much you want to share of your burden and how much you want to take on as well. It does have to be balanced, but for some people, they are either not taking responsibility or maybe caring for the partner. Maybe they expect everything to be done, or they doing it too much. So this is literally like black and white. So pay attention to that. What is the pattern here? The Healing Family Issues card is here, and it sits right next to the Flirt card. So I'm going to refer to what Joey talked about. The sexuality itself. I do think maybe you were repressed when you were younger, or something was said to you once where you repressed your sexuality, and now you feel like it's not okay to do certain things. And I'd look at that, because there needs to be an exploration here, and you need to start looking at such things from a more light-hearted side, where this is part of who you are, and this has been given to you for a reason. So that's what I have for pile 4.
Wow.
Whew.
Pile 4 was deep.
It took it out of me,
It confused me.
Yeah, man, like I was in between the two too, so I hope people choose what's right for them.
Whenever you were speaking, it made so much sense though. So
yeah,
I kind of got it, because I couldn't really get it at the start, and then when you started
I couldn't get it either.
I was feeling it, and I was like, yes, that's exactly what I thought. Okay,
So thank you guys for watching. Whoever.
Yeah. And maybe leave a comment how you like this video, because it's so different, like not being
so fun. Yeah.
Like I like it. It's different to when we used to sit beside each other on your little tiny like seat that we had. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Like it felt so, I don't know, it felt really, really fun.
Yeah. Hopefully people like this, and let us know if that's something that you want to see in the future, and we're going to do it.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to stop the video now. So thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all later.
Bye.